Imagine a world just like ours. The morning rush, the city humming with a million conversations, the symphony of daily life. Now, imagine it all just stops. 1 second. You're sipping coffee while a car horn blares outside your window. The next, a profound, impossible silence descends. Not quiet, not peaceful, but a complete void of sound. You try to scream, but no noise comes out. You clap your hands and feel the impact, but hear nothing. Panic starts to bubble, a silent scream trapped in millions of throats. The city, once a beacon of life, is now a ghost town, where the only sound is the frantic beating of your own heart. That's when they appear, sleek, obsidian craft, materializing in the sky like ink drops in water. They drift down their descent, as silent as the world they've invaded. Utter chaos erupts, but it's a terrifyingly soundless ballet of fear. People run, their footsteps making no imprint on the air. Cars swerve and crash in eerie silence. Soldiers appear, their guns flashing but producing no roar, their bullets hitting the alien ships with no satisfying clang of impact. The invaders are untouchable, ethereal, moving through the silent pandemonium with a chilling purpose we can't begin to understand. They don't seem to be attacking, just observing, waiting. What could they possibly be waiting for in a world they've already conquered? The initial shock gives way to a grim reality. Humanity is trapped in a silent cage. We fight back, but it's like punching at ghosts. Our greatest weapons are rendered useless, our cries for help swallowed by the void. Then, the attacks begin. Not with explosions or lasers, but with something far more insidious. People start to vanish. One moment they're there, eyes wide with terror, and the next, they're simply gone. No flash of light, no struggle, just an empty space where a person used to be. The pattern is random, unpredictable, and that's what makes it so terrifying. Fear becomes the new currency, and we're all bankrupt. But amidst the silent despair, a young boy named Leo finds a sliver of hope. Hiding in a grimy alley, his small frame pressed against a dumpster, he watches one of them. It's not a ship, but a creature. Tall, slender, almost fluid in its movement. It glides past his hiding spot. A rat scurries out from behind a pile of trash, and Leo flinches, a tiny involuntary gasp escaping his lips. It's a sound so small it should be meaningless, but in this dead world, it's a thunderclap. The creature instantly freezes. Its head, a smooth, featureless orb, swivels towards him. It doesn't have eyes, but Leo feels its gaze pierce right through him. He clamps his hand over his mouth, heart hammering against his ribs, forcing himself to be still, to be silent. The creature lingers for a moment, then, as if losing interest, it glides away. That's it. That's the key. It's not movement they hunt. It's not sight. It's sound. Any sound. Cough, a stumble, a sob. They're drawn to the audible expression of our fear. The silent panic is just a backdrop. The real hunt begins when we break the silence. Leo watches from his hiding spot as it happens again. A woman stumbles, her cry of pain a whisper that seals her fate. The creature is on her in an instant, and she's gone. This isn't a random invasion. It's a calculated hunt, and we are the prey. We are being culled by our own instincts, our own terror made manifest. A new kind of survival begins. People communicate with frantic hand gestures and scribbled notes. They walk on tiptoe, every step a prayer. Cities become giant libraries of fear, where the slightest noise is a death sentence. But this isn't living. It's a slow, silent descent into madness. Leo knows they can't live like this. Hiding isn't a strategy. It's a delay of the inevitable. Sound is their trigger, then perhaps sound can also be their weakness. The idea is insane, a desperate gamble, but it's the only one they have. He remembers stories his grandfather told him of an old, abandoned radio station on the outskirts of the city, a relic from a time when sound was a celebration, not a curse. Getting there is a nightmare. Every creaking floorboard, every dislodged pebble is a potential beacon for the silent hunters. Leo moves like a ghost through the deserted streets, his senses on a razor's edge. He sees the creatures gliding through the city, their movements unnervingly graceful. They are always listening, always waiting. More than once, He has to freeze, hiding for what feels like hours as one of the silent stalkers passes just feet away. The tension is unbearable, a constant silent scream in his mind. But the image of the woman vanishing, the memory of that tiny gasp that almost cost him his life, fuels his determination. He has to try. He finally reaches the station. It's a fossil, covered in dust and rust, a monument to a forgotten age of noise. Inside, the equipment is ancient, but it's all there. Wires, vacuum tubes, massive transmitters. He has no idea if any of it still works. He's just a kid who liked to tinker with his dad's old electronics, but this is on another level. With trembling hands, he gets to work. He's not trying to broadcast a message. He's not trying to call for help. He's trying to build a weapon made of pure, unfiltered noise. He works feverishly, splicing wires, rerouting power from a backup generator he prays will still have some juice. The sun begins to set, casting long, eerie shadows through the dusty windows. Outside, he can sense them. They're drawn to the faint hum of the generator, the quiet clicks of the switches he's flipping. He can feel their presence, a cold spot in the air, a pressure against the walls of the station. They're gathering, circling, curious about this pocket of faint mechanical noise in a world that should be dead silent. His time is running out. Sweat drips from his brow, but he doesn't dare wipe it away. Any sudden movement could be his last. Finally, it's ready. A monstrous contraption of wires and dials, all channeled into the main broadcast antenna on the roof. It's a Hail Mary, a shot in the dark based on a single, terrifying observation. He takes a deep, silent breath, his hand hovering over the main switch. Outside, the shadows of the creatures are now visible, pressing against the windows, their featureless heads tilting. They know something is happening. They are waiting for the sound that will pinpoint their prey. They are about to get more than they bargained for. He flips the switch. For a split second, nothing happens. The silence stretches, taut and mocking, and then it erupts. Not music, not a voice, but a single, piercing, high-frequency tone. A sound so pure and so powerful it feels like it could shatter glass, shatter bone, shatter the very fabric of the silent world. The sound waves blast out from the antenna, washing over the city in a deafening wave. Outside the station, the creatures freeze instantly. They don't recoil, they don't attack. They simply stop, their fluid bodies going rigid. Their heads all at once tilt upwards towards the sky. Not at the antenna, but past it, as if they're looking at something far, far beyond. It's a look of shock, of reverence, almost of fear. The hunters have suddenly become the hunted. The piercing tone continues to scream across the planet, a signal that wasn't meant for us. The boy, Leo, stands by the console, watching the frozen aliens, and realizes he hasn't saved the world. He's just rung the dinner bell for something else. A greater power is now watching, and the silence was only the beginning.